Chris Roberts, CHRISROBERTS.
And you were a Ron Gregory coworker at WOWO with him for how long?
Yeah, Ron and I started in 1973, actually. He got there in March of 73, and I got to WOWO in September of 73. And we worked together well into the 90s, mid 90s, actually. So his show followed my show. I did the afternoon drive. He did the 7 till midnight.
And it feels like you guys were kind of that whole second wave
Yeah,
of
that's
WOWO.
right. That's right. Yeah, Bob Severs, Jack Underwood, Jay Gould, they were our parents and grandparents back in those days. They were all in their late 50s, and Jay Gould would have been in his mid 60s to late 60s when we got there.
So there had to be, it feels like there's so much uh, sentiment around Ron, particularly because he was doing nights on a radio station that reached the
Sure.
eastern half of the US.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we used to say 28 states and 3 or 4 provinces of Canada, and of course it made it across the globe as well. And he had fans and friends basically in every state in the union that where the signal got to.
Is there one memory that you're like, oh, that's the one I have to share?
You know, no, the man had an incredible sense of humor, and he was a intellectually a brilliant man as well. He was a member of Mensa. A lot of people don't know that. He never showed off his intellect, but you could tell just by talking to him that he was very, very well educated, University of Maryland. And he was also a musician. He was a drummer and played some jazz drums, after his retirement from broadcasting. But prior to that, he was the drum major in his high school, which was Bethesda Chevy Chase in Maryland, and also played in the marching band at the time they used to call them the Washington Redskins, and he was in the marching band back in the early 60s, for the Washington football team. So, pretty amazing life and well accomplished life, but just everything to him was an opportunity for a one liner, and he wasn't annoying at all in his delivery of those one liners. He was very, very clever, and so we just all appreciated his sense of humor. And we knew that he didn't have basically didn't seem like he had a worry in the world ever.
Yeah, I think it's the way I would categorize it as a listener. He was effortlessly funny. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
forced, it
that's
was
right.
just funny.
That's right. And he so admired the great comedians like Jack Benny, and people like that. So they actually provided some of the material in their style for him. It was a self-deprecating type of a humor. He never made fun of anybody. He was everybody's friend. If he made fun of anything at all, it was himself.
And I also understand that he may have been the longest resident at Canterbury Green Apartments here in Fort Wayne.
I would imagine, yeah, because I think he lived in the one apartment for nearly 50 years, if not more than 50 years. And an unfortunate fire a couple of years ago drove him out of that into another one. But yeah, he would have still been there if that had been the case. Yeah, it was, as I said, he was just a totally unpretentious, pleasant man.
And then is there anything else that you would want to include? I know you're hard pressed for time.
Well, just that, as I said, I remember him as a pleasant human being. I mean, we're saddened certainly by his loss. It's a great loss, but the pleasant times that we spent together, both on and off the air. Sometimes we would sit up all night long and play blackjack because we didn't have to be at work the next day until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. In my case, and in his case, 6 o'clock at night. So there were a lot of evenings spent playing blackjack. He admired people who could win in Las Vegas and so forth. But as I said, he was an all around pleasant guy, a joy to be around. And so I don't take sadness from this. I take a sense of gratitude in having known him and worked with him. And to me, he'll always be alive. And every time I hear a bad joke, a pun, or some other extremely clever type of witticism, I'll think of Ron Gregory.